Hey, this is about starting over. This is an intimacy journey.
Yeah, it's just called starting over. It's really about our own relationship and everything that's been happening. But something that we're so passionate about is living in truth, which we've found this incredible thing that's happened, which is it's created intimacy. And we wanted to share that with you guys today.
Now, we get a lot of questions about how we met, and a lot of you are struggling in your own relationship. So we're going to walk down this road called intimacy. This is video 1, and we're going to answer some candid questions that you have, and you might be struggling with relationships too, and figuring out how to start. So we were introduced to each other by a friend of ours.
Yes,
Tammy Kling.
Hello, Tammy.
Thanks for that.
And it's been quite an interesting journey. I mean, you know, when I saw you, I thought, wow, she is amazing. Well, actually, what I thought was, she is so hot. But having been in a marriage before, having had my own issues, having dated a lot, I thought, doesn't matter, she's hot. You know, who is this woman? And I want to get to know her.
And I think, you know, the first thing we kind of got trapped in is stereotypes. Is what we miss a lot of times in the Facebook world, is that there's only about this much of the skin that matters, and then everything else is like this huge abyss underneath of what is really you. And so I was looking at Vince. He's an ex-pastor.
What?
He used to pastor.
Yes, I was an ex-pastor.
He used to pastor a church of thousands, and I think that stereotype kind of got caught up, and all I could see was the title and the name, and it was very hard for me to get past that. And honestly, I only did because Tammy recommended that I try. And you had a stereotype. You were looking at me too.
Yes, Bethany, being known as one of the top executives really in the industry of the healthcare and what she's done is just being phenomenal. And seeing this woman thinking, why would she want to hang out with me? I've not been a top executive. I've been a pastor. Don't always care for that title, by the way, because it's a stereotype.
It's a stereotype. So we thought we're going to take you on this because you've probably met someone and you immediately stereotyped him. There's things you started thinking about what they are or aren't because of their stereotype. And I thought I had him all figured out. He's going to be this way or that way. He's going to be judgmental. He's going to have a lot to say about my past. I have been married before. I'm divorced. I've had a lot of struggles in my personal life. And I think we carry those stereotypes forward. And that's what I thought you were going to do.
Well, which was really interesting because, you know, every time we'd get together, she had a strategy. It was called Run Vince Off. So she did everything she possibly could to, hey, I think I can scare him with this. And, you know, I think you failed pretty miserably.
I failed pretty miserably at that. You know, we started walking this thing that we call the truth journey. And it's what you never do in relationships. Wow, there's some bikers that just went by. It's what you never do in relationships, right? You never just say, I'm going to walk forward in complete truth and I'm going to reveal every scary emotion or thought that I have. And I decided I'm going to tell him, hey, I'm dating a whole bunch of people right now, and you're just one of them. How did you feel when I said that?
Well, I wasn't like real happy, but you know what? It was really because actually of Tammy, our close friend. I had a lot of trust for you, Tammy, and you know, I also sensed that God was doing something in this. I mean, God is very much a part of our lives. I mean, we talk about Him a little bit differently. I don't use pastor lingo, but you know, I think it's this trust that my Creator knows what I need, and so it was just exploring the relationship. And you know what? I mean, here's the truth. I mean, I don't know about for you guys, but for me, is I've recognized I've had lots of failures in life. I mean, even in my last marriage, I really messed up because it was about meeting my needs my way and trying to manipulate things. This time, I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to also, just like you were very honest with me. And I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to lay everything on the table. I'm going to let her know about all my my problems, my struggles,
all your fears,
my fears. Fears are huge, and that's what kept me from intimacy in the past.
Yeah, we don't share 100% of what we're feeling. Several of my girlfriends that are dating, they keep going out with someone and they go out on 2 dates and they say, I don't like them. And unless there's something glaringly about their personality that you don't like, you don't know someone after 2 dates. I don't think I really even knew I wanted to date Vince until after maybe 8 or 10 dates, where I really started seeing behind this veneer that we build and that we show the world.
Yeah, that was, I remember a marked point in our relationship. We were on the couch watching a movie, and you were asking me something, and I started tearing up, and I was like, oh, crud. Man, she's just going to see that I'm wimpy and vulnerable here. And what was that moment for you? What did that do for you?
You know, that was a kind of a turning point when you broke down and cried. It was this moment of, I feel so comfortable I'm going to be that vulnerable in front of you, and I'm not going to worry about what you think of me. I'm just going to be me naturally. And I think it's why we struggle in relationships, right? Because we don't feel comfortable enough to be naked emotionally in front of each other.
If you are vulnerable and willing to chance being hurt, then beautiful things can happen in a relationship.
Well, and I think that's where we get caught, right? Is most of the people we talk to are on their second round, at least, or third, and they've failed at numerous relationships, and the fears are so strong that they're not going to tell someone that they barely know, I'm afraid of getting hurt, I'm afraid of being abandoned, cheated on, treated badly. No one wants to share that. And in truth, sharing that opens you up to the potential of a relationship.
It really does. And I tell you, our relationship has been the most incredible, life-changing thing for me. I'm going to talk about this for a second, but I'm not putting a pastor hat on. But it's this idea of, you know, you go back to the book of Genesis and the Garden of Eden, and, you know, you think about this perfect relationship that existed at one point, that there was some pain and some issues that happened, and they hid. They were no longer vulnerable. They were no longer willing to do that, and so there were intimacy problems that happened. But it's the idea of getting back to a place of trust. I mean, I've been able to trust you. You've opened up. I've opened up. Trust is building. And even though it's been hard at times, even when she's lovingly called me out, I'm not wanted to share because it feels like I'm naked. It's a little scary. It's been freeing and very healing, I think, for both of us.
Yeah. So it's the truth journey. This is the truth journey, part 1. And our next video will continue on this journey. So thank you for joining us.
Join us next time.